Hello and welcome to I24 News Sports special World Cup coverage. We begin right now and we'll follow every game, every move, all the way until a world champion is crowned at the Maracana on July 13th. It's been 4 long years since that final in Johannesburg. Now the wait is over, the World Cup is here, the Brazuca is here, so let's get going. We will be joined here every day in our special World Cup studio by special guests who will give us their insights on the greatest tournament in the world of football. And we are delighted to be joined today by Mordechai Motele Spiegler, voted as the greatest Israeli football player of all times and star of the Mexico team 1970 World Cup squad, and by Uriel Daskal from the Daily Calcalist, daily and website. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
So, the World Cup is here. Let's start to roll. We will start by taking a look at the host country. When Brazil was selected as the host of the 2014 World Cup, it seemed like a match made from heaven. It's obviously a football-mad country, the most successful country in the history of the World Cup, the only country who participated in all the World Cups, and at the time, the Brazilian economy was on a very positive note. 7 years later, Motele, with all the problems we're seeing in Brazil, is it still a match from heaven?
I believe that it comes back from heaven to earth. Reality of our life is stronger than any game. But Brazilian nation waited for this World Cup so many years. Some of them are still under the trauma of losing the cup at home in 1950. And hopefully it will be a great World Cup, because we have to divide between the feeling of the people and the World Cup.
And the World Cup itself. And Uriel, I want to ask you, Brazil is spending an estimated $14 billion on this World Cup. This is a country with an infrastructure that is ailing, a problematic healthcare, welfare system. What kind of legacy are we going to see with all this money spent?
Well, the legacy is the most problematic part of this World Cup. I think $14 billion is equivalent to about 70% of the education budget of Brazil, which is a lot of money for a poor country. And this money could have been invested better. About the legacy, I think it depends really on the home nation and how they're doing. If they're going to win the World Cup, I think the image is going to get better. But on the long run, I think Brazil will suffer from this World Cup. I hope for them that at least they'll win it.
And Motele, you know, last year at the Confederations Cup, we heard more of protests than of football. Are we expected to see the same now?
The world is watching the World Cup, so this is a good opportunity for the poor people who are really crying, asking from heaven, help us. So it's a mixture. But I would love to concentrate that we will have a great World Cup, and then the Brazilian president can help the poor people, and it goes together at the end of the day. Football is part of life. It's not everything.
And I want to ask you, Ariel, we as sports people, we envy the people in Brazil. Should we envy them with all the traffic jams, all the problems that we're seeing there? It may be very, very problematic for the fans, for the journalists, even for the teams.
I don't think envy is the right word here. We should really wait and see how is everything going inside the stadiums. I know there's a lot of pressure inside FIFA that something is going to happen during the games, something is going to happen in the stadiums, and I think a lot of pressure there, and a lot depends on what happens inside the stadiums. And it depends also on the game itself. If the game itself is good, if the games are nice to look at, then the image of the whole World Cup is going to change. But we're starting now the competition.
All that is going to be interesting, perhaps just as the games themselves. And the world media is obviously focused on Brazil, both on the games, but also on the problems and controversy surrounding them. Here's Merav Savir with the opening day's press review.
It's finally here, and the question we've all been asking ourselves is Brazil ready? Well, President Dilma Rousseff took to the media this week to say we're ready both on and off the field, saying the, quote, pessimists have been defeated. She also spoke out against criticism of her government for overspending, saying the tournament will leave a lasting legacy of infrastructure. But protesters still aren't happy. But after all this, it is football nation, and Cabeçao, or Big Head, the turtle, is giving Brazilian football fans even more to cheer about. In the coastal town of Praia de Forte, 25-year-old Cabeçao predicted that Brazil will win its first match tonight versus Croatia. And to make fans even happier, football experts are siding with him. Big Head isn't the first animal to predict the outcome of games. Back in 2010, Paul the Octopus correctly guessed the outcome of 8 matches. But on Sunday, we have one of the more interesting matches of the group stages. Powerhouse Argentina taking on rookie Bosnia. And the Argentinian media caught up with the Bosnian team. According to El Gráfico, the Bosnian team is remaining optimistic, saying they're enjoying every day leading up to their debut. And one of the most exciting things about their first match, they get to face Messi in the iconic Maracana Stadium. Definitely a dream come true for players. And for those who don't know much about football but are ready to enjoy the tournament, I suggest you head over to Bleacher Report. The website has a full-on guide to the 2014 World Cup, including the history of the games, how the different stages work, the teams, the biggest players, and a breakdown of every group. If you know nothing right now and want to impress, that's definitely a site you want to visit today. So on opening day, Brazil is ready. We're ready. Now we just have to patiently wait for kickoff.
And now let's turn our attention to the actual action. The opening match will be held tonight at 8 p.m. GMT. Host Brazil will face Croatia in Sao Paulo. The Seleção is obviously the favorite tonight and probably the favorite to win the tournament, but the home team will have a very bumpy ride on the way to the 6th title. The first stage will not be easy and it will just get harder later on. Lies Barnbaum and Merav Savir take a look at the team that 200 million Brazilians are looking up to.
They want to get their 6th star. The 23 players of the Brazilian squad cannot afford to make any mistake during the World Cup. On their home turf, they will have to play to honor the 200 million Brazilians who are behind them, and coach Luis Felipe Scolari is well aware of that.
We're not here to simply take part. No, we're here to win, across the board. We must get to the final and be crowned champions. And I confirm we can be champions.
And this motivation will have a strong impact on the opening games. Brazil will face 3 tough opponents in Group A: Mexico, Cameroon, and their first challenge, Croatia. In a land where football rules all, people count on the team stars, Captain Thiago Silva and Barca's star striker Neymar, to carry the squad to the championship.
Take a look at our players. We have the world's most expensive defense, Maxwell, and lots more. It's a great side, really good, with experienced quality players who've gained international respect.
The coach of the Seleção is especially worried about Mexico. Brazil will meet Mexico on June 17th, a clásico which could be difficult for Brazilians. Led by their star striker Javier Chicharito Hernandez, Mexico has talent up and down their lineup. Croatia, driven by Luka Modric, is also able to shake the Seleção, even if the Croatian collective game is still weak. As for their indomitable Lions of Cameroon, their star Samuel Eto'o can also be a threat. And that's just the group stage. Then there's the second round. Brazil has a likely chance to meet Spain or the Netherlands. Despite all the pressure, the Seleção are still the favorite team to win this World Cup.
Knowing we're favorites doesn't bother me. We know our potential. We know what we're setting out to achieve, so it's a good pressure because it keeps us on our toes.
And despite the social tension brewing in Brazil, the entire country is still supporting its team. Even with the ongoing protests, Brazilians are not forgetting to back their players.
We made those critical drawings to show people that we support our team, but in a responsible way. We love football, but we hate what our leaders have done.
For Brazil, the stakes are high. Erasing a humiliating defeat, they lost the final at home to Uruguay in 1950. This year, after 5 successful World Cups and the FIFA Confederation Cup last year, the Seleção could take its revenge on history.
Motele, Brazil looked very, very impressive in the warm-up. They won the Confederations Cup last year, 3-0 against Spain. They are favorites, but can they handle the pressure not only from playing at home, but avenging that 1950 loss to Uruguay?
Yes, but 8 years after 1950, they won the first time the World Cup, and Pelé was born for the world of football. Every World Cup since they won brought a great player to the world of football, coming from Brazil. Pelé, Ronaldo, before that Romario, Ronaldinho. The big question mark is Neymar capable to produce what his talent is telling? Because all preparation, all training games, all camps, all confidence, all photos in the world will not be the right answer if Neymar will not be on his best.
And
He's coming back.
That success is over once the first game begins.
No, it's not only him, because Brazil never had such a wonderful defense, like the coach, one of them said. The most expensive defending players in the globe are playing in Brazil.
And I want to ask you, Ariel, exactly on that. Pereira said, the technical director, this is the most expensive defense. We are used to seeing a Brazilian team stellar on offense, not so much on defense. Now there's Marcelo, there's Dani Alves, there's Maicon, there's Captain Thiago Silva. These are world-class defenders.
Yeah, and according to analysts, they are the top defenders in Europe. I mean, they're better than the German defenders, better than the Spanish defenders, and all that. I think that since 1982, which was also a national trauma for Brazil, they really focused on, defensive midfielders, bringing up great defenders, fullbacks, and all that. So we're watching a classic Brazilian team in a way that they are playing defensive football. Even in 2002 and 1994, they weren't playing samba football or carnaval.
Yeah, it was a 0-0 final back in Italy in 1994.
They were playing defensive, very defensive, counter-attacking football, and I think Scolari has done a great job in creating that culture of defending and winning in the Brazilian national team.
I would say it's the most balanced team Brazil can produce.
And if we're expecting that jogo bonito that we like to see from Brazil, the beautiful game, we may perhaps see it, but it's not Zico and Socrates and these kinds of players we've seen back in 1982.
Yes, Zico and Socrates, they won nothing.
Yeah.
So
nothing.
the end of the day,
great loss to Italy,
result is counting, and you could see wonderful defensive, and when you don't have a real pressing and offensive good players, you will never win a title.
Yeah, I think that the Jogo Bonito, has died in
That's a thing of the past.
In 1982, you had even Falcao, which was a bit more of a defensive midfielder, was a complete attacking player. So they're not creating that anymore in Brazil. They have Luis Gustavos and Ramirez's and Paulinos, which are really really defensive midfielders, really helping the back four. And then you have the creators, such as Neymar and Hulk. And I think the most important player in Brazil will be Oscar, because he will have to connect the defensive midfield to the attacking trio.
Now, we're speaking obviously of Brazil. They're the hosts, they're the favorites, they're the most successful team, rightfully so. Let's take a look at Croatia. Everybody's saying Brazil is going to win. But Croatia has Luka Modric, a key player from Real Madrid, European champions. Ivan Rakitic, who's making the move from Seville after he won the Europa League to Barcelona. Mario Mandzukic will not play tonight, but is a stellar goal-scoring figure at Bayern Munich. There's Eduardo, there's Dario Serna. Big players, Motele.
Before you mention the players, I saw an interview of Mr. Kovac, ex-great player. And he said that everything is possible at the first game of a tournament when the host is so nervous. And he gave me a kind of a feeling that everything can happen tonight or tomorrow morning when the game is played. Croatia, all the players you mentioned are fantastic individuals with a big heart for their country. And it counts. Even we are in 2014, it still counts. When a player scores a goal and he makes this, it means so much. And for Croatia, even more.
And on a quick note, Uriel, this is a country with sporting legends, tennis, basketball, handball, football. They were third in 1998.
Yeah, and they have less than 5 million people, less than 5 million Croats in the world, and they're still, a sporting empire, and I think it will affect them. It's a huge game. It's the biggest football nation in the world against
Croatia. Very interesting.
And I think they're up for it.
All that tonight, 8 p.m. GMT. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And that's it for our World Cup special today. Don't forget, the opening match is just a few hours away. Kickoff is at 8 p.m. GMT in Sao Paulo. And we'll meet you here again tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day and a beautiful World Cup month.